John, is do you think that a good man, at some point in their life, if they become so rich and powerful, they lose their morality and become a god to themselves? And that could be laid out to so many human beings that we know within the world. Do you think that's what goes on?
We all have our skeletons in our closets. We are who we are. We know what we are, and we know what those skeletons are. I've read the lawsuit. I've listened to a lot of people talk. Um, I go right back to my original the statement I made before. There's your side, her side, and the truth. So there are many things that make my mind ask questions. Um, you know, how factual is it? Did it really happen? It seemed to happen at an inopportune time. All of a sudden, this blows up. Um, does money make a difference? Does age make a difference? If any enhancement drugs were taken, did that make a difference? Um, I can only say this. I myself sit back and say, I can't believe it. I've met him. I've known him. Um, I respect him. People are going to hate me for saying this. I know that, and I'm not trying to kiss anybody's ass. I'm not trying to cover any fluff. I'm just telling you what I see from my perspective. Um, I just think it's very crazy that all of a sudden this pops up. I think if what we're hearing is true, I think it's crazy to spend $19.5 million on women to keep their mouths shut. And if people are willing to be silenced for money, then do we have a crime? And I guess that's a poor choice of words on my part. But when you stop and think about it, the first offense was $3 million. It went away. This one over here went away. Don't you think if the offenses were serious enough that people would unite and come forward as a whole? Um, I don't know all the facts. I really don't. I'm not a lawyer. I've listened to people talk about it. I've listened to lawyers speak about it. Where it all ends up, I don't know. All I do know is this: that a man and a woman's reputation and an organization's reputation have now been severely scarred and marred. Intentional or unintentional, it's hurt a lot of people. I don't think that was ever the intent. Um, if any of this is true to the point of deviation that I've read, then I have to say I feel sorry. I feel sorry that somebody ever reaches that point in their life where you have to take advantage of somebody to that extent. Really, that's just not right, period. It's not right. Um, but certainly, when we look at it, it's not something that people didn't know about. Is that a good word to use? Other people around you, they didn't
Mm-hmm.
quite understand it. Um, so whether all these things are true, I don't know. Supposedly they've got this, they've got that. Um, I don't think it's a case of having money. I think that when people have money, it seems the more money you have, the more you believe you can get away with. That's evident by a situation. I believe it was at a local pub. I think it was in Colorado, a bar where a representative was in there, and he was had a little too much to drink. Excuse me, and he kept saying, "Do you know who I am? I'll have this bar closed in one day. This bar is finished. You're done. Do you know who I am?" Well, the fact of the matter, sir, you're drunk like everybody else. You're not above the law, but because of your position and because of in anybody's case, a millionaire's case, the money and contacts you have behind you, you feel that you're one step above the law, one step above everyone else. And maybe that's the answer. I really don't know. Um, To me, it was a shock when it came out. I'm still trying to sift it out of my own mind. Um, a lot of talk about it. Other superstars have made no bones about coming out and speaking about it. I know that I texted you earlier and said I really don't want to get into it because I don't know a whole lot about it. I have my own personal feelings on it. Um, but again, money is power. And if that's the case, then the statement you just made is true. If you have money, you have power. And when you have that, you believe you can do anything to anyone and get away with it. My answer to that would be absolutely yes.
So
But that
Jimmy,
doesn't mean everyone who has money and power falls to that level, who tries to control people beneath them. Um, so I don't know. I guess I got to shut up right now.
no, I just Jimmy, that's probably the best take I've heard on this situation. So, John, I'm
Absolutely.
sorry
And I'm
for
not.
I tried to avoid it as much as possible. So I do
Nope.
apologize, but that was probably the
Well,
best take I've heard on on this situation.
no surprise coming from John. John, can I ask you, since we're talking about Vince, can you tell me who is Vince McMahon to you with your experiences with him, and how has he treated your family over the years?
Vince McMahon, to me, when I worked with him, was a businessman. He was a friend to a lot of people. He treated people with respect from what I saw. From what I saw. Remember, I
Right.
wasn't backstage every night like these people. So I only
Fair
saw
enough.
one side of this man. He was always kind and generous. As far as my family goes, um, I only know what he did for me. I saw how my son worked for him, his dedication. Um, I saw how other people respected what he was and who he was. You know, I always say this: to be a businessman and want to succeed is tough. In this business, if you can't put asses in seats, what good are you to me? And so people become very upset. You know, well, you get rid of me because, or they get rid of me because. Some of the people who recently get fired, I still can't figure out why they let Dolph Ziggler go, why they let some of these other people go. In my own mind, I just can't fathom it. Is it good for business? I don't think so. But in their opinion, it was. As far as Vince went, he was professional. He demanded respect. He gave respect, and he made sure that the show was run the way it was supposed to be run. Did he go overboard sometimes? I don't know that. Um, were there situations where you were told what to do? And in one situation, I had something I was supposed to say, and I remember saying to Paul Levesque, I said, "So if I forget a word, I can ad lib it." He said, "Either you say it the way it is, or you don't say it at all."
Mm.
So it was a business, and Vince was always kind and generous, respectful. So that's what I know about Vince McMahon. I mean, every time he saw me or any member of my family, he was, "Hi, how you doing? Hey, Fabo, how's it going?" Um, that's why I say I'm in shock.